Hello everyone, I'm Kalen North, and welcome back to Terra Invicta. Today is part 8 of our Protectorate campaign, and last time we ended with a brief interruption because we finished researching Fission Pile, and so I wanted to go and hop into the space screen. For those of you who don't know Terra Invicta very well, there's a couple of ways to get to the space screen. The easiest one is probably just to scroll out from Earth. You can take a look at what we've got. Here's Lunar. Nothing we can do much with Luna yet because Mission to the Moon hasn't been researched, despite Mission to Mars being researched. But we want to hop over to Mars. We want to hop over to Olympus Mons, where we've got our first outpost. And we want to take a look at that outpost. Now, right now, what's going on is we're building a core and shipping it from Earth, which is not going to be completed until March of 2025, so quite some time from now. It's currently May of 2024 in-game. I do want, however, to support this base a little bit more. Really, what I'd like to do is set up an outpost mining complex, but that is going to cost 124 boost in order to do. We can't afford that. We only have 33 boost. We can, however, afford a fission pile. Fission pile will give us enough power to run an outpost mining complex eventually, as well as potentially some other things. Fission pile is going to be a lot more useful for us than solar collectors are on Mars. Solar collectors fall off with distance from the sun, unsurprisingly. And so fission pile actually just has a flat amount of power that it provides. So we don't want to spend too much boost right now. We want to save boost for when the moon gets colonized, or gets Mission to Moon finishes, which is currently being researched. So Mission to the Moon is coming. And then from there, so then on Nefertiti base, we want to go ahead and build our first fission pile, which is only going to cost us 10 boost. So we should still have enough to help settle everything we want on the moon first right away. The fission pile is going to start having some upkeep costs eventually, but that isn't going to be an issue really right away. Same with our base here. It's going to have some upkeep costs. That's all going to materialize once it finishes building. So for now, I'm just going to build a fission pile. I'm going to stick it on this empty pad here. Costs a trivial amount of money and a non-trivial amount of boost. And that'll get completed on May of 2025. So next year in-game. Finally, we're going to head back out of this. We really want that outpost mining complex as soon as we can, but we're going to have to probably colonize Luna first. We're going to go ahead and jump back to Earth. Easiest way is this Go to Earth button, if you haven't played the game much, but hopefully you've seen me use that a few times if you have been watching these videos. And then we're going to go ahead and work on the rest of this space stuff later on. Right now, the most important thing to note is we have these 5 space resources: water, volatiles, base metals, noble metals, and fissiles. And we're going to start stockpiling those once we have space mines going, which is going to most likely happen after Mission to the Moon finishes, because the moon is much, much closer than Mars. We'll set up some mines there on the moon, and we'll use those to actually get enough resources to send a partially built-in space module to Mars so that we don't need to spend nearly as much boost on it. Otherwise, we were in the middle of a turn. Our counselors all have missions assigned already, so I'm going to go ahead and just run time and let things happen.
We're winning their hearts and minds.
All right, we've got a little more public support in the UK. We have so much public support in the UK right now. We are going to try and purge this crackdown point here pretty shortly, and take over a point in the UK, and from there try to leverage our way into the executive spot. Hijacked. All right. A hacker is taking control of a major payload we just launched, and they will threaten to blow it up. So we can either waste 3 boost, which is a lot of boost, or we can pay 2.5k for a 70% chance that we keep it. We unfortunately don't have the ability to use either of the other ones, other options. So I guess right now we can spare the ransom. I think 2,500 is worth 3 boost, so we'll try that. And it worked. So we retook control. We did not lose all of our boost, or 3 boost, which is, what, an entire month's almost? 2/3 of a month.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
And UK, we now have 72% popular support, which is kind of absurd. But we'll be using that to try and take advantage of this and get control. All right, we got a couple of purge missions in the queue. Spaceflight program started in Argentina. All right, we took a point in Greece. So Greece is back under our control. That's great. We wanted that. The executive cooldown is now going to reset, and we're not going to have them leave the European Union. I think they were the only other one that we were really worried about right away, because we already lost the Baltic states and Italy. But Sweden's fine, Finland is fine. Everywhere else, I think we have executive right now. No, we don't. Not in Hungary. We're going to need to go and deal with Hungary shortly.
Our associates are now in charge.
And we got a critical success in the UK, actually. So that gave us another point of public support. All right, we are going to set everything to mission control, because that's what we've been doing. We could put some into boost, especially if we're planning on holding the UK on Crackdown, or not on Crackdown. But I'm not sure if we're going to do that or not. It does cost, it's potentially a full 60 CP to hold the UK. We are going to free up a bunch very soon because Benelux finished its mission control. And so now we can actually go ahead and unify Benelux into the EU as a country, as a single country rather than as a federation, and get a bunch of cap freed up from that. That'll take out about 33 cap. So in the meantime, though, we are sitting at 14 above, and so I'd like to find a nation to abandon. So I'm going to go into my nations, sort by science, and scroll down to the bottom as usual. Singapore we want to keep. Bulgaria, we could give up the point in Bulgaria, although it's only 5.6, so that's not huge. We could give up the point in Finland, that's 6.45. We could give up both points in Portugal, which would get us back about a little under 14 total. I think I'm going to just give up both points in Portugal rather than try and mix and match quite so much, just because that'll get us right down to the edge, and it'll be done with only having to worry about a single country rather than multiple. So we're going to go to Portugal, we're going to abandon nation. They've still got a ways to go. They're only at 3 out of 6. So we will abandon Portugal and go back down to 235 of 235. Continue time. And we lost the mass media point in Spain. Interesting. I suppose we've had Spain not on Crackdown for most of the game, but we'll want to take that back at some point in the near future, probably, from the servants, in order to not let them take the executive. But otherwise, if Spain does get lost on the executive, that'll be okay. They're still quite a ways away from finishing out their mission control cap. They've got a potential 20, and we've only filled up 7. Project Exodus failed a purge mission on Sweden. Resistance failed a purge mission on Spain. Humanity First failed a purge mission on Romania. Humanity First failed a purge mission on Spain. Wow, we are getting hit with all the purge missions this turn. And they're all failing for some reason, which is surprising because these points are on Crackdown. So, Org Marketplace is updated. We'll take a look at that in a moment. First, we have to click through all the alliances that have ended, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is. And now we can take a quick look here at Benelux. And Benelux and France should be able to unify. Oh, I need to look at from France's perspective. Where's the flag for Benelux? No, wait, that's Slovakia. Excuse me. Where is the flag for Benelux? There it is. So yes, unification with France, pass. We are going to do that this turn. So Andor, we're gonna have he's sort of our weakest council right now, except at running coups, and we don't really want to do that just yet. But we will find a use for that later. For now, he's gonna set national policy in France.
On my way to the
which is a
capital.
mission we haven't really used
Where do
yet.
you
I
need
did
me?
assign it to him once before and then backed off because I decided to wait. And then with Yoyi, I think we're going to try and see if we can get a crackdown on... Oh, did the servants immediately abandon in Spain? They did. They didn't change their priority set, though, so that's kind of obnoxious, but that's fine. Were there any other points we lost? We lost something to humanity first, I thought. But I don't see it, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we lost that one? I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna take a look at Madeline and
Ready.
see what her odds of running a purge in the UK is. We'd really like to take executive if we can, and the odds are actually pretty darn good. With them not having a defense up right now, we've got a 91% chance. So that's really good, actually. We could try to purge the legislature first to get a bonus on that one. That'll also go slightly better if they do throw up defenses in the meanwhile. But we can also just pump a few influence in to try and keep the odds high for ourselves. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go for the legislature point. I'll pump in 2 influence just so if they do put a defense up, we're at 39.9 to 29 or to 39.1 or 38.1 rather. So that should be fine. And then we'll try to take the executive next turn.
We're taking power.
Meanwhile,
At
I'm gonna
your
have Yoyi
service.
attempt probably do another public campaign in the UK. We've got a
Making
bonus
our
to them
case.
now from this mass media control point, which is nice. Eric, I kind of want to go and also run a public campaign this turn. He could do something else potentially, but I think that just
We'll make our appeal.
really maxing out on the
Ready
UK
for
for the
orders.
time being is going to be good to go. Is going to be good for us. Vidantika could run a purge mission somewhere. UK doesn't have great odds, but she does have pretty good odds in Spain. So we might as well go and do that and try and take that control point back, keep the servants out, as well as update our priorities. We could also have her go and run a crackdown mission or an investigate counselor mission somewhere to try and check on someone else for either hostile takeovers or for a future purge action against, like, say, Humanity First in Hungary. I'm not rushing on doing that right now. I am curious if there's any counselors we have partial information on. Looks like we've got one from the Academy and one from the Initiative. The one from the Initiative is an executive who usually have high administration scores, and so that would be pretty tempting because they probably have some orgs. The other one we could check is a judge from the Academy. We could. I don't think we've done anything to steal stuff from the Academy, so it might be worth just trying to go for this guy and not worry about doing another crackdown mission right now. I think I'm going to do that because I want to keep on working on hostile takeovers and getting a lot more orgs if we can. Which, speaking of, I don't think I actually looked at these at all. We have Life Regiment Hussars, which would be kind of nice for Anjor, but he doesn't have the room for it right now. Communication Security Establishment, we need to be in Canada for that. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's Russian, and so we probably can't get it. Babylon's Tower we looked at a little bit, and I sort of hemmed and hawed and decided I didn't like it that much. National Security Bureau, we need to be in Taiwan. This one we need to be in Australia. This one we could take, but it looks way too expensive. So nothing with the orgs this turn. So other than trying to set up now for a investigation to
Surveilling target.
try and get a new target for hostile takeover missions. And with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and start time again and start our e-unification, if you'll pardon the pun. And here we go.
I have new information.
Alright, so we got a success on investigating the judge. It looks like he doesn't have any orgs. He doesn't have very good stats either in general. That's kind of interesting. He must be a relatively new recruit or something. Puppet Master. Prosperous, government. I don't think none of these would explain why he doesn't have better stats, but we'll still take a look at him. It might be worth doing another mission to see if we can get his loyalty score and turn him with Eric. But we'll see how that goes.
Public sentiment is increasingly with us.
All right, we are getting very little additional public sentiment from these public campaigns because we already have way too much. But
We've moved the needle.
yeah, only 1% for that one. So I should really be moving these public campaigns to another country. All right, and they did defend interests again, so that's going to drastically hurt our
report when my mission
odds
is complete.
of the purge, but it's going to still have a chance. Mountain Warfare Doctrine Project is actually a pretty useful one later on, but we're not going to try and invest in it now. I think it's 10,000 points for it. Yeah, 10,000 points. Which it gives increased combat value in regions classified as rugged, which a lot of regions are, but we're not going to worry about that right now because, again, 10,000 points and we're not doing any kind of military combat yet.
Policy direction complete.
All right, policy for France, we want to choose unification, and we actually have a few candidates, Benelux, Finland, and Slovakia. Finland and Slovakia, though, we don't want to unify with yet because let's see, Slovakia is still at only 2 mission control out of a possible 6, and Finland is at again 2 out of possible 6. So Benelux, on the other hand, we did manage to get up to a full 8 out of 8. I'm not entirely sure why some regions cap at 8, some cap at 6, and some cap at 0. But for whatever reason, Benelux has its cap met. We're going to propose unification and go ahead and get the European Union to grow. So now the European Union and Benelux have merged into a single nation. Now all of Benelux and France are one country, and they're still mostly working on mission control and funding, but because the country is so much larger now, it's going to be a lot more worth starting to invest in things like our economy priority and our knowledge priority, and really getting a lot of science out of this place. As such, I'm actually going to go ahead and start adjusting the priorities here for the European Union now that it's growing. I'm going to put 3 pips into economy. I'm going to put 3 pips into knowledge, 1 pip into welfare, just because we are going to be investing a bunch in the economy. I don't want welfare to grow too high, or excuse me, inequality to grow too high. We're investing in the economy. It's already doing pretty well here. The per capita GDP is pretty high. But as things happen, as we unify more nations in, we're going to have that start dropping probably, just because we're going to unify in nations that don't have quite such high GDPs per capita. And so we can just invest in that from now and do a little better. I am going to leave funding at 1 pip. I think we're doing all right. Our nation income isn't great, but we are gonna get that higher soon, hopefully. And then I'm gonna actually start investing in Boost. Boost here is gonna be useful for us when we finish on the moon, or finish unlocking the moon, and it's gonna be useful for Mars, of course. But I say that I'm not actually gonna invest in Boost. Kazakhstan's gonna be getting us enough for the moon, I think. So we will keep investing in mission control. We now have a potential 5 more to gain in the European Union, but so we're not going to really prioritize it. We're going to prioritize economy and knowledge. That's going to help us keep our democracy score high. That's going to help us with getting our science research really high, and we're going to just keep on doing that until hopefully we have a big mega nation that can surpass everything else in the world in terms of research. Otherwise, also, you'll note our CP cap has dropped, or our CP usage has dropped a lot. We were at right about at cap, and now we're at 209. Reason being, Benelux was a full country with 33-ish CP being used, and now the European Union is a larger country than France, so the CP cost of each point went up a bit, but it's still a lot less cap than the two nations separately had. All right, the aliens have settled Ariel. I think that's a moon of Saturn. Is that right? Nope, that's Uranus. Okay. So my astronomy knowledge getting put on display there. So aliens are moving inward. That's fine. And Titan, I'm pretty sure is a moon of Saturn. So they are spreading to there as well. They haven't gotten to the asteroid belt yet, it looks like, but it's only a matter of time, really. And there's alien activity in Spain. I missed that on the left. There it is. Receiving reports of returned abductees in Madrid. So we will have to investigate that next turn. New station orbiting
Our
Titan.
enemies are still in control.
And we failed to take the point in the UK. That's okay. We'll give that another shot next turn. Right, Italy has ended its alliance with Germany, Iceland and Denmark, Iceland and Sweden, Norway and Poland. All sorts of things ending. None of it all that relevant to us right now. But now for this turn, we want to have Madeline try another purge operation on the UK. We want to take that legislature control point. And so I'm going to go ahead and pump in 4 influence to give her an 80%
Targeting
shot.
the opposition.
Your orders?
And we have such high public support there that I'm really not going to try and do any more public campaigns there. Anjor can go and investigate the alien activity in Madrid.
We will see what we can find.
And
Where
let's
to?
see, Yoyi. Let's see, I wanted to... let's see, Northern Balkan states, that's fine, they're working on mission control. We don't need to take that one. Same with Romania. Slovakia is fine. I think we want to start working on Germany again. Poland is fine. Denmark is fine. We're actually... Looks like everyone's investing in mission control in Europe. This is great. This is exactly what we want. So I think I want to start working on, or continue working on Alpine States is spending a little on knowledge, but that's fine. I want to start working on Germany, I think, at this point. We've already got executive power, but we do want to try and work on getting the other control points at some point, because Germany is pretty good on science and is going to be really nice to unify into the EU when we can. They're also, let's see, they're at 10 out of a possible 14 mission control, so they're actually getting pretty ripe for unification, because they have a fairly large IP bank of 16 per turn. Or 16 per month, excuse me. It's not per turn, it's every other turn. So we will probably, I think, want to start... We could try to run a crackdown somewhere. We don't have very good odds with Yoyi. She doesn't have a great investigation score. She's actually kind of just gotten outclassed in general by our other counselors at this point. But she's a bit of a generalist, and we haven't put a bunch of orgs on her in order to boost up her other stats. So I'm going to have her just run a public campaign in Germany. I think, let's see, we already control mass media, so she gets a bonus to it. So we'll just try and get popularity up in Germany and then kick out the Academy and the Resistance.
I will try to sway the public.
Reporting in.
Let's see, Eric. Eric is going to do the same thing, go and run public campaign in Germany.
I will try to sway the public.
Your
Urantika.
orders?
I think we want to run... Do we want to try and do a crackdown already in here? Nah, not great odds. I think we need to get public support a little higher first. We could try and run a crackdown on the executive point in the UK. Give ourselves better odds of it, of handling it later. Yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best target right now, because that'll mess over the resistance a little bit better than anything else we can do at the moment. The only other option would be to try and do. Well, we looked at a crackdown in Germany, and the odds are much worse. So I'm gonna go for a crackdown on the executive point in the UK. We'll pump in 4 influence, try and get her up to an 85% chance.
Targeting their key people.
And then from there, we'll confirm assignments, run time.
Trillions of dollars just sitting up there, yet still the regulators drag their heels. Maybe it's time I treated the president to another golfing weekend. Chairman Soren van Wyk leaked private correspondence.
All right, so mission to the moon is done, and they've selected Ad Astra as a new technology. Ad Astra is about getting more space stuff unlocked. None of that is incredibly urgent, but it is a good tech for us long term, so good thing for them to pick. And we now want to go and launch a probe to the moon. Various asteroids are getting surveyed already. I'm not too worried about that. Asteroids can be nice, but they're generally worse than sites on Luna or Mars, or at least than sites on Mars. But we will go ahead and launch a probe to prospect the moon. It's going to cost us half a boost, and we will get that there in 16 days and start launching colonies. Well, outposts. Colonies are technically a different thing in this game. And then I anticipate we're going to see every other faction launch a probe to the moon momentarily. Minton, I don't know where 315898 Latreus is. It's got to be some distant asteroid. Not as distant as I would like. Well, the aliens have a base there. And then let's hop back to Europe, where our missions are mostly being run.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
Got a little boost in Germany. Another alien
Public
station.
sentiment is increasingly with us.
All right.
Cleaning things up.
Germany is
Wrapping up here.
getting a little more under control.
We've hit them where it hurts.
All right, we hit the executive point, so that's good. And we can now build solid core fission reactor 1. All right, that'll be useful later, but again, it's a ship component. We're not urgently pursuing those yet. And we gotta wait
Here is what we
for
have found.
alien activity. So we get another boost to xenology, which is nice because we're researching a bunch of xenology. We're up at 11%, which is slightly reduced. If you have bonuses that are applying to multiple techs, you get a 10% penalty to the bonus itself. So instead of getting a 19% boost, we get a 17% boost here. Instead of a 12%, we get an 11%. It's all fine though. I do want to actually put 2 more pips in to appease the invaders. Try and complete that a little sooner. So we will let those keep on churning. And we lost the executive point in Spain. All right, that's frustrating, but not the end of the world. Again, Spain is a ways away from unification.
We are in control now.
And more importantly, we succeeded in the UK. So we have the legislature point now, and ridiculous popular support, and the executive on crackdown. So we have almost kicked the resistance out of the UK. So that's really good. We lost legislature in Slovakia to the academy. Again, not the worst, but not ideal. See if we lose any more this turn. Doesn't look like it. More alliance is ending. Spain has allied with India. And the org marketplace is updated. Also, several things came off of crackdown, so we are way over cap. But let's go and take a look here. The American Mafia. All right, we could take the American Mafia. That would give Madeline very little actual boost. It would give us plus 3% spoils and a little bit of money income. That's really not actually all that interesting. The UN Office for Outer Space Affairs, on the other hand, is very interesting. It gives a boost to funding, a boost to spaceflight, a boost in mission control, and a space mining output bonus, which we haven't talked about yet, but is very useful later on in the game for boosting how much we get out of our mines. So that one needs to be held by a government character. So I think we could give that to Eric or to Urantika. I'm gonna probably give it to Eric. I would definitely like that one, because we are running so much mission control, and it doesn't have a huge monthly penalty like some of the others we've looked at. Looking at you, Sandia. And then yeah, I think that'll be good. So I'm gonna spend 120 influence on that. Purchase the org. And then, let's see, is anyone ready to level up? Yeah, Urantika is ready to level up, so she can get another point of administration. And then, let's see here. Anyone else? Yoyi's a little low. No one else is quite ready yet. So, we want to take the rest of the UK if we can, or close to the rest of the UK if we can this turn. Finland, our control point, our crackdown expired, so we have full control of it again. And also Alpine states, we have full control of again. So I'm going to go ahead and look at nations, see what we want to clear out, because we are going to potentially take another 30 CP from the UK here momentarily, and then we're going to be running into a large deficit. Alright, so we're sorted by science. Let's head down to the bottom as usual. Singapore we want to keep. Bulgaria we could drop at this point. If we did Bulgaria and Finland, that would probably be enough for us, at least until we start taking stuff in the UK. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to hop over to Finland. I'm going to abandon it, leave it on mission control. And then Bulgaria, that's not Bulgaria, excuse me. Where is Bulgaria? There it is. We're 237 out of 236, so I'm going to go ahead and abandon that one. And get us down to 231. So now for actions this turn, I want to see if Urantika can take that executive point while Madeline works on the... yes, she can. While Madeline works on the, what is it, trade unions? Trade unions. So we will have Urantika run a purge mission on the executive there, and then Madeline can go and run a purge mission on the trade unions. We'll give her 4 influence to get her up to 80%.
Removing our enemies.
Where to?
Anjor is gonna be running... Do we want more public support in Germany? Probably. I think public support in Germany is what we want here.
I will try to sway the public.
Ready.
And then Yoyi, we could try to run a crackdown. Doesn't have great odds of it anywhere. We really need to start boosting her stats and getting her some useful orgs soon. For that matter, actually, do we have any enemy counselors we can go after? It looks like there's a couple from the Resistance and one from the Servants. I kind of want to leave the Servants alone for now, but I'm happy to go mess with the Resistance a bit. They've got a Kingpin, who is potentially a good target, and a Judge. So I guess we'll see what Yoyi's chance of investigating either one of them is. She's got 81% on Deming, and only 38% on the other one. So let's go for the Judge. We'll have her start looking after him, looking into him, and then Eric Eric doesn't have too much else to do other than running public campaigns in Germany right now.
I will tell our story.
And I think that's everything for the moment. So we will confirm assignments. Take a glance at the tech progression. Looks like arrival sociology is finished or about to finish. And go from there.
You contain multitudes. Every breath you take may contain atoms of Tutankhamun, or Christ, or Asimov. For any human to think of themselves as intrinsically apart from others is absurd. We are, all of us, made from each other. Superior Judith Howell, Infinite You, Self-Improvement Course.
The Servants are kind of a weird faction. But yes, Judith Howell apparently has self-improvement courses. So Independence Movements was selected, which is great. That is actually what we want to see, because Independence Movements is one that we can go and get to, I believe Global Command Structure is the one. That'll give us a nice boost to our CP cap. As it is, I don't really want to try and fight over the control slots here, because we're more interested in things like the moon, and we're more interested in getting these xenology projects done for the time being. So we will let the AI continue to control the global research temporarily and take back control of it later on. All right, we have a probe arrive at the moon. Ooh, we've actually that is a lot of fissiles on the moon. We might actually hold on to the moon for a good chunk of this game. We can get every single resource by setting up a couple of lunar colonies if we want, if we have enough boost to do it anyway. So let's go and take a look at that. So here's the different sites on the moon. So I think the one that really jumps out at me is Mare Tranquillitatis, or Tranquillitatis. I can't read these things. So we want to definitely find an outpost there. That's going to cost us 6.6 boost. We have 29.7 boost. So we're going to go for that one. I am thinking I actually want to possibly try and also settle Shackleton Crater. Reason being, that will give us some water income and a bunch more fissile income, which is really nice, especially if we want to take the entire moon at some point. The other place I'm looking at is Peary Crater, which has a bit more water, but Shackleton has plenty. And this way we can actually get positive income on all of our space resources for the time being pretty darn quickly. So I'm going to go to Shackleton, found an outpost there, and then I'm going to see if I have enough resources to send more stuff up to those outposts. So Mare Tranquilla, whatever it's called, Honorata Base, we're going to go ahead, and we cannot afford a mining complex. It's 41 boost for that. We can afford to build a solar collector, though, which will power the outpost mining complex shortly, once we have enough boost for it. So I am going to send a solar collector up. Go ahead and put that there. And then we are going to save up boost as soon as we hit that 41.7 boost. We are going to build an outpost mining complex. So I'm going to try and pay close attention to this one for now. And then from there we will expand on the moon and try and expand on Mars. So back to Earth for now. Actually, before we go back to Earth, I'm going to click on the moon one more time. I could try to reserve a third site on the moon. We reserved the two best fissiles sites, and there's definitely some potential benefit to reserving another site like Peary Crater or possibly Copernicus Crater. to get more fissiles and more of our other resources as well. I don't... I think we're going to be happy with the 2 we have for now. We're a little low on volatiles, and so I'm actually looking more at Tsiolkovsky Crater. But we're just low enough on boost, and we really want to get that first outpost mining complex going in order to save on all future builds. Because the more space resources we have, the easier it is to build things in space. So I'm not gonna try and reserve a 3rd site. It's just a little too expensive right now.
Person of interest surveilled.
All right. So
Prepping for next mission.
this resistance counselor has no orgs, which is unfortunate. Does have a loyalty score which might be relatively low, estimated at 8. So we could try and do another investigate mission on him and see if we can turn him to our cause with Eric. So that'll probably be something to check out next turn.
We've moved the needle.
Back to Europe, we're doing public campaigns in Germany,
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
up to 54%. Various things happening. Brush war in Upper Guinea. Typhoon hitting Vietnam.
have taken control.
Vietnam starting a space program. Alright, we have executive
ready for
power
new orders
in the
soon.
UK. That's great. We're going to set everything to mission control, as we have been. UK has a potential 20 mission control, so we definitely want to hold on to that as best we can. They've also got a nice little bit of boost income here. That'll be helpful for us going forward with our moon colonization project. And we are now 10 over cap. I think I'm gonna let this continue for now, and then if and when we get our next control point in the UK, I'll go ahead and abandon some nations. All right, we lost a point in Sweden. Okay, we've lost all of Spain now. And they are investing very strangely, which is fine. We'll take it back and we'll switch it back to mission control soon here.
Our associates are now in charge.
Here we go. Taking the UK is the big deal. So we have the UK. We have it set to full mission control. In 6 months, we'll be able to rejoin the European Union, and then from there, it'll be another half year or year until we can actually unify it into the European Union and make it just one big country. But for the time being, we're at 260 out of 236. I want to bring that down a little bit. So let's go take a look at our nations. Again, sorted by science. The UK is pretty darn good at science, so we don't really want to hurt that one much. But I think we can go ahead and we can probably have Ireland, Greece, and maybe the Alpine states go on to crackdown. So we'll start with Ireland. Abandon the nation. Goodness, that is high per capita GDP. I didn't think Ireland was that rich. Oh well. So that's Ireland, and then what did I say was next? Greece. So we will go ahead and Greece has actually got pretty good science at 26.3. What is Poland sitting at? Poland is sitting at less science for the 2 control points we have, and they're probably more expensive control points. We're also only 8 over now, so I don't know that we want to give up all of... Well, we'll give up Poland for now. We'll be taking some points in Germany in the near future, and so we'll want extra cap for that. Looks like we lost a point in Uzbekistan. That's fine. We aren't really doing too much with that anyway, so... Servants have some interesting control points over there. Kazakhstan is still doing pretty well, I hope. Getting lots of boost. We're up to 4 a month, 49 per year. and we now control the UK's military. A bunch of alliances are ending. Unrest is high in Belize. That's fine. And it looks like a couple of our crackdowns expired, so Sweden is back, and Denmark is back. So neither one of those... Well, Sweden actually, it looks like... I don't know why... Well, I do know why. They're building a spaceflight program because they want to build spaceflight programs everywhere. And they're not going to get the European Union from us, so just investing in mission control isn't as appealing to them. But this is a weird spread from Project Exodus there. We might try to take that one back. I think, though, for the moment, the thing to do is to focus on Germany and Spain. So, I'm going to just take a look at what Madeline's odds of purging random control points is. Only about 7 or 10% in Germany, so not great, but very good in Spain. She can take the legislature back with 86%, or the mass media with 99%. I'm more inclined to take the legislature. Less good odds, but easier to then take the executive from there. Plus, with this one on Crackdown, it's easy to change back. Or it's easy to take later on, rather, I should say.
Terminating the
We
opposition.
could have Unantika go and do it,
Standing by
perhaps,
for orders.
if we wanted. Anjor, we're going to have go and do a public campaign in Germany.
Making
We
our
want to keep on boosting that
Ready
up.
to go.
Yoyi, I want to try and do another investigation on Deming. See if we can get full info on him and possibly
on
go
target.
and turn him to our
At your
cause.
service.
Eric doesn't really have anyone he can do hostile takeover on. Doesn't really have any... I mean, we could go take control of a random nation, but I'd much rather have him do public campaigns in Germany right now.
We must persuade the people.
Ready for
Urantika,
my
let's see
mission.
how our odds are for crackdowns. We've got a 20% chance on the legislature point against the academy. I think that's worth going for at this point. It's not, I mean, obviously we're not expecting to like succeed for sure, but going ahead and putting in 8 influence to get it up to a coin flip and then trying to do that a couple of times and hopefully succeeding eventually is
Turning up the
not a
heat.
terrible idea here. Otherwise, let's see, we're sitting at 13 boost. We could try to contact another faction and trade for some of their boost, but I don't think any of the other factions think very highly of us right now. I've kind of been just generally throwing hate around. In fact, the Resistance is at war with us, Humanity First is at war with us, the Project Exodus is at war with us, and everyone else is in conflict with us. So we're not the most friendly right now. No one's going to give us any good trades. But here we go.
We found nothing of note.
Failed the investigate mission.
Cleaning
That's
things up.
unfortunate.
The people will come to our side.
Slowly moving the needle in Germany.
We have moved the needle.
Literally what they said. How's it?
Prepping for mission.
It's gone from 55 to 57. All right.
Crackdown complete.
All right, that worked. We got it. So we'll be able to purge that point next turn. Solar flare. All right. I don't think there's anything we can do about this, so we're just going to lose half our mission control for 6 months, which is fine. It's better to have this happen now than much later on. Because, goodness, that's rough. Cops and robbers. Looks like so this is an event that hurts their loyalty scores, which is not great. We could lock up Madeline for 6 mission phases, which is terrible. We really don't want to do that. and we can wax poetically about the new world we're creating where this won't matter anymore. That sounds terrible, but paying 150 influence to me is, I think, better than losing 3 loyalty from each counselor. We could always just inspire them back up, but I think we'll go ahead and wax poetically. It's kind of weird. Guerrilla warfare is kind of a cool one. +2 to unrest missions. Unrest increases by 3 in our nations when they're conquered, as well as giving us some ops. But we're not going to try and research that anytime soon. That will be potentially useful later on, especially if we want to try and break into China or the US via unrest missions. Speaking of which, I should actually take a look that no one else is already doing that. Oh, the Academy did get a point in the US. That's slightly concerning. That's fine. And then Project Exodus got a point in China. So, well, that was probably going to happen eventually. Those 2 nations are very powerful, and I'm okay with the Academy and Project Exodus having them. I'd be less happy about, like, a Humanity First doing it.
We've removed some threats.
Alright, and we did succeed at the Purge in Spain. So we're going to go ahead and switch priorities back to mission control. Continue on. We are 14 above cap. That's not ideal, but we'll figure it out. We have some new orgs we can look at. White Fang Industries is really nice. We get a plus 1.25 boost per month, +4 administration, +2 science. We're definitely buying that for someone. I'm not sure who. It costs 2.2k, but we have plenty of money. The Hera Cartel gives us some ops income, but isn't that thrilling, really? Theseus Cartel, same thing. Neither of these is great. And they're both... they're not too expensive, but I don't want to waste space on them for just granting a mission that she already has. So White Fang Industries, however, I think we want to put that on someone who has slightly less administration. We could probably do this on Yoyi and have her start building her up a little bit. Alternatively, we could put it onto Urantika. She doesn't have hostile takeover, but that's fine for now. Let's see, that gives a security point. That's not very interesting. I'm thinking Madeline is maybe the best candidate for this. Just to get her administration score up to 25. That'll get her closer to being able to get rid of Hyperion investments and put that on someone else. I think we're gonna do that because we don't really need to focus science right now. We could do it on Anjor, but I think that I want the boost to hostile takeovers of having her at 25 administration. So I'm gonna do that. And now, as we saw, it was +4 administration, but she only went up to 25. So she's currently getting +4, +7, +11, +14 to a base stat of 8. Must be more than that. Sorry, +18 to a base stat of 8. So if we can level up her administration a couple of more times, we can actually unequip some of these orgs and move them to other counselors. But for the time being, if we do ever identify someone with orgs again, we're going to be able to steal all of them, because we have 2 hostile takeover counselors with 25 administration stat. So that's really nice. And then speaking of really nice, we're going to go ahead and have Urantika go and run a purge mission in Germany, take out the legislature point and get it back under our control.
We are taking power.
Or under our control. I don't know if we've ever actually controlled that one. Madeline, I want to... What are your odds of running a purge in Germany? Only 10%. So I want Madeline to go and take the executive back in Spain.
Targeting the opposition.
I'm here.
Hungary is still a problem. They did put defend interests up. How much do I care right now, though? Hungary can be a pretty late addition to our EU. So if we don't get to it right away, it's not the end of the world. But we'll try and get that probably as soon as we've got the executive back in Spain. Other than that, I think the rest of the EU we're doing okay in. Anjor, I'm gonna have you. Well, let's go to Yoyi.
Standing by.
Let's have her investigate Deming one more time. Try and get. Let's see here. Try and get his loyalty score and see if we can convert him to our cause.
We'll see what they're up to.
Standing by.
Eric still can't turn, although he can do a hostile takeover on Deming, actually. Oh, probably because probably the resistance might have some unequipped orgs that we could steal. So let's give that a shot and see what happens. We only have 1 intel on him though, which is surprising. I would think we would have 3, unless maybe he did something that undid some of our
Targeting
intel
enemy
collection.
orgs.
Ready
I'm
for
not
my
sure.
mission.
Anyway, Andor, on the other hand, we could have go and do something somewhere. I'm thinking public campaign in Germany is probably not a bad idea to do that again. Otherwise, we could go coup a random nation somewhere. Could launch a coup in North Korea. That seems like a bad idea. But we could try and disrupt some enemy forces. I think most of the very developed nations don't have very good odds for coups. Could go mess with humanity first over there in Southeast Asia. We could try and take control. We could try and take control of an empty nation in Africa. Of course, we could do that with the control point as well. But sometimes the coup d'etat is actually more worthwhile because it can reduce the unrest in the country as well as give you multiple control points at once. So let's just have him launch a coup in Libya and see what we can get from there. Run this mission phase. Still not quite enough boost.
Org acquired.
Alright, so we got Arcadia Protection. That is a rather disappointing org, but that's fine. We stole it from the Resistance. I'm gonna go take a look at that actually. I don't think I want that on Eric. I want that on someone else. So I'm gonna go ahead and unequip it, and then I'm gonna go and try and equip it to Anjor. I think would be the one who could most use it. Because it gives plus command, so we'll go ahead and do that.
Surveillance complete. We'll be ready for new orders.
Alright, so Deming, we have a little more intel on now. We'll try one more time to get some intel on him before we wrap up entirely, because if we can get his loyalty score, we can try to turn him. Nuclear freighters. That's actually very appealing. I think I'm going to... which project would I rather give up temporarily? Probably alien movements. I think appease the invaders, if we can get it done, is going to be so helpful that it's going to be amazing. Whereas alien movements, while it's going to progress us to our long-term goal, isn't going to be quite as urgent. So we'll go for nuclear freighters. I'm going to turn appease the invaders down, just so we get this done as fast as possible. Which is still January of next year. which is not great, but is going to be useful, I think, regardless.
Our plot has been foiled.
And we failed the coup mission. Lovely. That's unfortunate, but I suppose we didn't really need it. Alright, with Earth shining behind them like a sapphire against the black sky, the astronauts begin the process of assembling the first shelters for the lunar base. Prompted by mission control to say something, the spacesuited commander turns to the camera, her face obscured by a golden visor. This time, she says, motioning toward the gray surface, we're here to stay. Alright. We got our moon bases founded. I think this is the one where I put a solar collector here. So we still can't quite get our outpost mining complex, but we did get a nice boost from being the first one to found a base on the moon. We should probably get a nice boost for the same thing on Mars. I'm going to dismiss these notifications, and then we're going to take a slight boost penalty now because we have the bases made, and we don't have space resources yet, which is unfortunate, but it's not too major. It's 0.021, it looks like, so it's about a 10% loss, which is unfortunate, but is, I think, going to be manageable for the time being. We still need to get up to the point we can actually deploy some mining rigs up there. All right. Looks like Portugal, we lost a point. That's fine for now.
We are in control now.
We took a point in Germany. Excellent. We'll set it all to mission control. And we have some nice additional science income from that. And oh goodness, we are above our cap. We should probably abandon some nations. We can also check if anyone's ready to level up. I don't think so. Oh, actually, yes. Yoi's ready to level up. We can give her an administration point. And then Eric is ready to level up. We can give him an administration point. Which his administration score is 12 unmodified, and we're giving him a bonus of +3, +6, +11, +15. So he's at. So we need to get one more administration point onto him, and then we can actually unequip and move Atlantic Products or Virgo Capital Group to someone else. That does help a little bit with our cap. We're at 26 over right now. I want to take a look at our nations again. Don't want to lose Singapore, Greece. I thought we abandoned Greece. Did we not abandon Greece? I don't remember what I did. All right, well, I'm going to abandon Greece now. Get us down to 252. Oh yeah, they had slightly better science per CP. That's why I kept them earlier. So that's 252 out of 240, and then I'm going to go ahead and abandon the Alpine states. Or I could do Spain, potentially. No, I want to do the Alpine states. And that will get us down under 240. And let's continue on.
The opposition remains in power.
Looks like the servants went and reinforced, so that's unfortunate. Madeline failed. It'll be all right, though. Or they defended interests, I should say, when not reinforced. Resistance purged the tried to purge legislature in Germany. More alliances ending. They want me to run defend interests in the EU. It's probably worth doing at some point, but no one's been attacking it, and I think it's relatively safe for the time being. But we still want to try and take that last point in Germany. I'm gonna try and have Urantika take it out. Not control nation. I want to crack down. Oh goodness, did we? Huh. I thought she had better odds than that earlier for some reason. Maybe the resistance was further over the control point cap earlier. Well, if we plug in 8 influence, that's good enough to get to a 60% chance.
Ready for orders.
And then, so Spain is at 132 days. Hungary's only at 86. Can we run a purge in Hungary with any chance? Not really. We've got pretty good odds here in Spain if we pump in a little bit of influence. Pump in 8 influence and we can get a 76% shot at it. So I think that's
Removing
worth doing.
our enemies.
Again, Hungary is kind of a lower priority for us right now. What they're investing in isn't the worst. Anjor, I want to... Let's see. I want to skip back to Yoyi first. I want to investigate Deming. Try and get full information on him.
Acknowledged.
I don't think we have full information yet. Yeah, we still don't have his loyalty score. So we're going to try and get that loyalty score this turn. And then I'm going to have Eric go and run public support, or public campaign in Germany, try and build up some support. And Anjor, we could just have him run that coup attempt again in Libya.
By any means necessary.
Not the end of the world. With that, confirm assignments. We'll run this mission, check the orgs, and then probably call it for this session. Alright, looks like Humanity First has set up a base on the moon.
Nothing unusual found.
Only 30% success rate.
Cleaning
Where did you
things
go?
up.
Oh, somewhere where he's got full control. And it looks like we lost information, so maybe he went to ground? Yeah, so something went wrong there. Well, we'll check later on with someone new.
Public opinion is moving in our direction.
New regime is in place.
Alright, we succeeded at our coup d'etat. We're gonna set everything to funding and economy without welfare. And then I suppose we can actually hold on to that one. It's not a very expensive point. It's only 4.52 right now. So we'll abandon that later if we need to.
We've neutralized their key people.
All right, critical success in
Wrapping up,
neutralizing the resistance there in Germany. That's great. Legislature in Greece we lost. That's okay.
We're in control here.
All right, we got the executive in Spain. And then now we are over cap again. So I'm going to go ahead and abandon Libya, I think. That'll keep us over cap still, but only a little bit. So let's go ahead and abandon that. And we lost the executive in the Alpine states. Project Exodus. That's not the end of the world either, but it's not great. We're going to need to focus on unifying more of these countries soon. Alright, so we have some new orgs available. Let's take a quick look at what there is. Plus 5% mission control and plus 1 mission control is nice. Rigel Metals gives a nice boost to economy, spoils, and space mining, plus some monthly income. And Trillium Products gives us a little bit of money and a very small boost to spoils. I'm not actually that thrilled by those numbers. I don't think that's very impressive. But the other two I definitely want. So we will buy those for someone, probably someone who has less orgs right now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put those on Yoyi. Although no, she She needs stuff that boosts her stats still. Let's go for Udantika. She'll be all right without getting anything else to boost her stats for a little bit longer. But we want to purchase those. So 535 for that one, 73 for that one. And we are still running negative on cash, at least in terms of our daily income. We're way positive when we count our spoils. But yeah, I think we will take a quick glance at tech. So end of this year, we'll finish nuclear freighters, and otherwise, we're leading on augmented reality. I don't remember being that far ahead on that, but we will pick this up again next time. Further the unification of the EU, and probably try and get Germany under control and sort of have this triad of power between the EU, Germany, and the UK. Thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye.